Mr. Gloria?
David, Gloria, I know, Madam Chair, the team wanted me to make sure that we're good to go for the YouTube channel. So David, Gloria, and Maren, are we all set? Can Madam Chair continue?
Checking with the live stream right now.
This is Maren. Yeah, we're good to go. Thank you.
Okay, so David, Gloria, it's your turn.
Thank you, Chair March. Members of the committee, please confirm your presence as I call out your name. Councilman George Galt.
Councilman Galt? Confirm that you're here?
Can you hear me?
Yes, no. Present.
Thank you. Mayor Carolyn Goodman.
I'm here.
Chair Deborah March.
Here.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Ms. Maynard, I'll turn it over to you now.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. The first item on the agenda is to conduct your first citizens participation period in support of the Nevada State Governor's recommendations made on November 10th, 2020 to reduce the spread of COVID-19 and pursuant to the March 22nd, 2020 Declaration of Emergency Directive 006, which suspended the requirement to have a physical location for public meetings and for the health and safety of the community. This meeting is being held virtually. So to allow for public participation, the RTC is accepting public comments via email at publiccomments@rtcsnv.com. Comments could be submitted to be read aloud or to be added directly to the written record. And Mr. David Gloria will read the public comments received by the RTC.
Thank you. This is the first time set aside for public comment. This time is limited to comments on items included on the agenda. Do we have any public comments?
Thank you, Chair March. There are no public comments received at this time.
Thank you. Ms. Maynard?
Madam Chair, the next item is to approve the agenda. The agenda is in order and ready for your approval.
Are there any questions or comments, or can I have a motion to accept the agenda as stated?
So
We have a motion on the floor. All in favor signify by saying aye.
aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. And that motion carries.
Thank you. Item 3 is to evaluate the performance of the Chief Executive Officer for the period of November 14th, 2019 through December 31, 2020. Formulate recommendations on management goals and objectives for 2021 and adjust compensation or take action as deemed appropriate. And so, Madam Chair and members of the Commission, I'll now share my screen and begin the presentation.
Thank you.
All right, I want to make sure you can see that, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Commissioners, do you see it?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'll tell you, it's hard to believe that it's been a year already. I had so much hope and excitement for the new adventure, you know, to start new projects and just dive right into new partnerships, and then 2020 happened. You know, and as an agency, we were forced to redirect or pivot. We use the word pivot a lot in 2020, really to address the ongoing health and economic crisis that we find ourselves in. And so although this past year's been filled with a lot of challenges, one thing remains the same. I share the same hope and excitement, maybe even more so than I did 1 year ago today. And because while the world has changed, our priority of serving the public has not. And I actually think it's deepened as we've watched those in our community suffer. So as I go through the presentation today, I have to tell you I'm incredibly proud of our agency and to be a part of this dynamic and very, very much forward-thinking team. So I'm going to provide you with an overview of our key accomplishments and how we navigated this pandemic with your leadership. So before I even start, I'll tell you that what I want to say is thank you. Thank you to our board. This past year has not been easy. And you've given us your vote of confidence each and every time, and you've empowered us to continue to put our community first in providing the new transportation services. So we don't take this role lightly. And as we know, the demand for services far outweighs our available resources. It's something we think about every single day. So in 2021, I look forward to continuing to work with you as my bosses and my mentors. Your input has helped guide us as an agency, we look forward to working together as we reimagine 2021. So I believe we emailed you and or hand delivered a hard copy of our priorities for 2021 and our accomplishments of 2020. And so in the interest of time, I'm just going to go high level over both areas. I also need to acknowledge the team at the RTC. First and foremost, the executive team, hands down, are the most competent professionals I've had the privilege of working with. David Swallow, Francis Julian, Angela Castro, and Mark Trosdahl, they are fearless. And they are undaunted by any challenges or obstacles that come their way. Actually, I think they love that. They prefer to have challenges than just your sort of normal, unchallengeless day. We really are a cohesive group. But I also have to, I want to certainly acknowledge and commend our 325 committed and passionate employees. During the shutdown and the COVID-19 restrictions, they were able to, with the help of our IT department, begin telecommuting at home within 1 week. And so we have many folks that are considered essential workers. They show up every single day, boots on the ground to get the job done. Even at the beginning, that black cloud of a pandemic, I'm very proud of them. This is a remarkable group, and every success this agency has experienced is because of this hardworking team. So I am so honored to know them and work with them. So this is the part where we normally have a theme, right? Highlight the year in review, and Mayor March or Madam Chair, you've been a part of this committee. We find a book and we find something that speaks to that particular year, but there really are no books to explain yet what 2020 feels like. So we wanted to open today's conversation with a little humor that highlights 2020. So here are a few memes that we think describe 2020, could probably be part of a book cover. So here we go. All right, January 1, we start out so excited. And then that's how we ended. And then we had a lot of plans. I mean, they were good plans. And then that happened. And then, of course, we all know what it's like to have the Zoom meeting with my hair's not done. But when I have video, I've got yoga pants on and maybe I've got my business suit up on top. So I think everyone can relate to that. So that really reminds us and speaks to 2020. But I have to tell you, humor aside, we cannot forget the hundreds of thousands of essential workers who did not have the luxury of working from home. And these are our frontline employees who showed up every single day to keep the community healthy and safe. They are our bus drivers, our security officers, our maintenance professionals, our traffic technicians, our firemen and women, and our healthcare providers. And ultimately, we owe them a debt of gratitude. So for today's presentation, again, in the interest of time, I'm going to list some noteworthy accomplishments, but there's more in the report that we provided to you. So as a team, again, it was all about responding to 2020. And I'm very proud of the fact that we prepared the final budget for fiscal 21 under the cloud of the pandemic. And we were forced to really look and find efficiencies and savings within the organization. And we cut $40 million in operating and capital expenses. And really, there was a focus on ensuring we could find as much savings in order to not have to reduce so much transit service. And I'm proud of the team for doing that. We successfully negotiated a one-year extension of our labor contract with SEIU, saving the agency $1.7 million. I'm very proud of the relationship and the amount of respect we have with our labor union and appreciate their leadership. We obtained clean audit reports for fiscal year 2020. We maintained a AA bond rating for fuel tax revenue bonds from Moody's Investor Service. We also invested in technology to help keep our transit riders, employees, and contractors safe, including the installation of ion air cleaners on our vehicles. We introduced an automated real-time passenger count system for our customers so that they can determine in real time if they want to get on a crowded bus or not, as a way for them to make the best choice for themselves. And we introduced thermal scanning technology at our facilities. We also collaborated with 3 Square to deliver more than, to date, 3,700 food boxes. They are a month worth of food that we delivered to homebound, low-income seniors throughout the Las Vegas Valley. So we really appreciate our partnership with 3 Square. And then we developed and implemented a 14-point COVID-19 safety education plan. And we developed a data dashboard that our customers can go online and take a look at how we are operating in a pandemic. And we really want to remain transparent and accountable to the community. And then we continue to monitor and report traffic volumes, comparing pre-pandemic traffic levels to current levels. So our team, they evaluated and in some cases retimed and adjusted traffic signals in response to the varying traffic volumes. And they also, during the height of the pandemic with testing sites and food distribution sites, they were able to go ahead and adjust the signals accordingly to the traffic volume. Innovation, we love innovation, right? For many reasons, thoroughly enhancing the customer experience or looking for efficiencies from a financial perspective. And so while we were busy responding to COVID, we certainly stayed tuned in to what we could do from an innovative perspective. And as you know, Madam Chair and members of this commission, we launched an adaptive signal control technology pilot program in partnership with the wonderful staff of the City of Henderson and Clark County. That's along 14 intersections on Eastern Avenue. And as a reminder, this technology, instead of using traditional traffic signal timing plans, this technology uses cameras for real-time information to again respond in real time to different traffic volumes and incursions that could happen. And so we look forward to in 2021 coming back with additional information as to the success of this program. We also recently launched the RTC Cash to Mobile Solutions. We did this just in December, and we're very equity in terms of our customer and how we serve our community is very important to the RTC. We wanted to make sure to give our unbanked customers the same opportunities to travel as our banked customers. And so now our unbanked customers can go to over 350 locations throughout the valley, and they can use their cash and add it to their Ride RTC app, and again travel contactlessly. And it's a safer way to travel, and we're very proud of that initiative. And again, it just launched in December, but already over close to 1,800 transactions have occurred. We also formed partnerships with Uber and Transit that allows riders to seamlessly buy their transit pass on the Uber or Transit app without having to download the app. And in fiscal 20, we sold nearly 15,000 transit passes that were sold through those partnerships. And then again, we implemented a real-time, I love this one, it was a real-time detour notification system. And we're now able to communicate directly and quickly with our thousands of our customers, and we do that by text, email, and social media. So transit riders are now alerted in real time about transit delays, detours, etc. Previously, if you used public transit to get to work and an accident occurred and your transit was rerouted, you had no way of knowing. And many times you show up to work late and you could lose your job. So I'm really proud of this. This has been really beneficial to our customers. And then as the MPO, we plan long-term roadway and transit projects by forecasting the region's growth and needs over the next 30 years. So here are some of our key accomplishments. As you know, we developed and adopted the Access 2050 Regional Transportation Plan, and that plan includes strategies and projects that are designed to improve safety, manage congestion, and promote alternate modes of transportation. We continued our role as the administrator of the Southern Nevada Strong Regional Plan, and for the first time, we were able to include transportation-related work in our Unified Planning Work Program, or UPWP. So now we're able to secure federal funding reimbursement for staff and project support. Again, we've got some great business-minded folks here at the RTC that are always looking for ways to be more efficient. We completed On Board. This plan helped identify, as you know, we work closely with the community. They were able to prioritize what they want to see in their future mobility. And that has allowed us now to develop a financial plan that's currently underway. And, you know, when I took over for Tina and understanding the depth of our financial challenges, and we really had those challenges pre-pandemic, a priority for me was to continue to explore the opportunity for federal grants. So in 2020, we streamlined the management of our federal grants process and applied for grant opportunities to help fund transportation and highway infrastructure projects. And I'm happy to tell you that we applied for 50% more grants from a year-over-year perspective, and we're awarded over $10 million to date. And then listening to our community will always be a priority for the RTC. And something that we learned from Anthony Fox, he's the former Secretary of Transportation. We heard him say one day, don't be a dad, right? Don't decide on a project and then advocate and then defend that project, especially where community input was not included. We know it's very important to include the community at the ground level. We work on behalf of the community, and we need to engage them early and often regarding various initiatives. When they're heard, they feel like they're part of that project, part of the solution. And so, despite the pandemic and challenges with meeting in person, we still managed to attend more than 150 community events, public meetings, and speaking engagements. And that actually reached more than 20,000 people. And hats off to Angela and her team and David and Rand on this call. They moved mountains. We also promoted our community and customer engagement platform through our blog, social media, and marketing database. And that has allowed us to collect more than 140,000 distinct email addresses. And super proud of the blog. Over the last year, over 200 stories have come out of that blog, and they're authentic, they're informative. The staff has done, Angela and her team have done a great job. Okay, that's right. Goodbye. Bye-bye, 2020. See ya. So, hello, 2021. So I challenged our team, commissioners, to reimagine what 2021 can look like, given our current situation. With this, we've outlined a set of priorities that can be categorized, as you see on the screen, four key areas. So short and long-term funding, innovation, long-term planning for both roadways and transit, and then sustainability and community engagement. And so I pulled, again, several high-level projects from our report to give you an idea of where we're going in 2021, but you can find more in the report. So while funding Southern Nevada's transportation network keeps us awake at night, and it's always been a priority, continuing to identify how we fund the needs of our community will be even more vital due to the pandemic and its likely long-lasting effects. So we're going to continue to responsibly utilize federal stimulus funding for COVID-19 related impacts. And that certainly is the CARES Act, the second stimulus, CRISA, and we're working closely with our federal delegation for any opportunity to be ready to go for potential stimulus funds that may come from this new administration. We're also developing an updated financial model for short and long-term mobility projects, and I know this is something that you're aware of. This model is going to be very comprehensive. It's going to include projections that build a funding model that takes into account the estimates. How do we pay for current and future transportation projects? You can't provide an executed solution without first understanding the scope of the problem, and that funding model will help us do exactly that. And we're going to continue to collaborate with agency partners and community stakeholders to pursue other grants for various transportation programs and initiatives that will really improve mobility here in Southern Nevada. Next, we'll look at innovation. It's critically important. If we're going to stay relevant and continue to meet the demands of our community and what they want, we must continue to seek and embrace innovative solutions. And so for innovation around our roadways, we are looking to transition the work zone and lane closure detection program. It's currently in proof of concept. We want to move it to a valley-wide pilot. And that pilot, we believe it's going to continue to increase safety. It will decrease traffic congestion and improve capacity. And so this started with our orange cones, right? All those orange cones and are the subcontractors doing what they're supposed to be doing. This information will provide the RTC with insight into the locations of lane closures. It'll let us know how it's affecting traffic signal and transit operations. And this is really great in near real time. And so the program is going to use data from connected traffic control devices that are set up at those sites on all appropriate RTC funded projects. We're also going to continue to provide support to regional entities and private industries to advance connected autonomous vehicle technology. And we're doing that right now through traffic signal operational expertise, and that's our team at FAST. And we work to ensure that proper personnel are in communication to resolve issues quickly and effectively. We're really proud of that as we continue to support Emotional, it was formerly known as Aptiv. We're supporting them as they continue their pursuit of driverless technology. And as you remember, Emotional operates the largest fleet of autonomous vehicles that's happening here in Southern Nevada, and we support them in any way that we can. And then, of course, we're going to continue the deployment of the adaptive signal technology that's on the Eastern Avenue project. We'll finalize the before and after data, assess that. We're going to conduct a cost-benefit analysis because we want to identify future corridors that could be subsequent deployment, right, of this real-time technology. So, Commissioner, we will be bringing back the results of this pilot to you probably in March or April. And then for transit innovation, we're going to update the RTC fixed route fare collection system, and that's going to allow for a wider variety of payment options, including smart card technology and payments like Apple Pay and Google Pay. And we recently received a $500,000 grant in support of that project. We are going to add paratransit mobile ticketing option to the Ride RTC app. We heard from our customers, hey, we want the same options as fixed route, and they were right. And so this app, they will be able to buy their ticket. They'll have ticketing options available. They'll be able to look at their fare purchases, their purchase history, and so we're very excited to roll that out on their behalf. We're also going to launch My RTC Para, and this is going to be a website and app solution for booking paratransit trips, but also this is really important for providing real-time updates on the vehicle location and the arrival time. We've heard over the years from parents of their loved ones that travel in paratransit, from Bob Brown and his team at Opportunity Village. If a vehicle is running late, where's my loved one? When will they be here? And this technology will allow the family members and the work sites to look in real time where that vehicle is and what time it's going to arrive. And my hats off to our paratransit team, Francis Julie and his team, IT. We've got an amazing team. This is going to be very exciting and very beneficial for our customers. We're also going to develop and implement a transit lab experience to test new transit technologies and innovations. And our deputy CEO, Francis Julian, he's so creative. He is working with a team. They are going to look at areas of the valley and implement in maybe 2 to 3 months. If they look at a route, they're going to assess, is there a way to use more innovation or different innovation to help fix service issues or reduce travel time? How do we maximize our equipment? How do we maximize our financial resources? And so they will do that throughout the valley to ensure that we are providing the best service. And if there's a way to use innovation or to use micromobility or to use a first mile, last mile solution potentially, I'm very excited for what is going to come out of this lab this year. And I look forward to sharing that with you. We are also going to continue, of course, the development of the Go Manned Autonomous Vehicle Project. Commissioner Mayor Goodman, your staff's been wonderful to work for. So in partnership with the City of Las Vegas, this year we're going to finalize operational plans where we will develop the vehicle requirements, which is a big deal. We're going to execute a grant agreement with the Federal Transit Administration, or FTA, and we will begin infrastructure development. And then, of course, with today's challenges, they are many and the community's needs are critical, but we're going to continue to plan for Southern Nevada's transportation network over the next several decades. So in 2021, we will complete 30% design of the Maryland Parkway Bus Rapid Transit Project by mid-2021 and procure pre-construction before end of year. And we're also going to apply for federal funding to cover a portion of construction costs related to the Maryland Parkway project. We are going to continue to partner and provide support for partner agencies and stakeholders in their activities to implement the Southern Nevada Strong Regional Plan. And among a lot, I mean, they are doing a lot of things, but this year we're really going to focus on 3 important regional planning studies. And the first is going to be an inventory of regional sustainability planning best practices that will be conducted on a national level to look at what other cities and organizations are doing. The team is also, again, in conjunction with the jurisdictions, we'll look at a study of the region's vulnerability and potential impacts of extreme heat events. And then also a study will consist of an analysis of the region's future housing needs. And then, of course, we're going to continue to work with the local governments on the 247 projects that are currently under design or construction, and they total more than $1.1 billion. As we work with the local governments to ensure that these 73 projects that are programmed for design and construction in 2021 are good to go. And as an FYI, those projects just in 2021 represent nearly $166 million in local funds. And as we develop our future plans and engage in innovative technologies, we obviously have to prioritize sustainability. So we are looking to complete a sustainability plan for organization. And this plan will help enable the RTC to define, initiate, and advance sustainability. through achieved action items, something that, our best practice internally first. And that plan's going to kick off next month. We're also looking to design, procure, and implement hydrogen fuel cell electric buses. We did receive a grant to do that in 2020. We are currently working in partnership with Southwest Gas to procure renewable natural gas, and that'll be used to fuel our transit fleet. This initiative could save the RTC up to $2 million annually. We are going to work with the local residents, state and local agencies, and nonprofit organizations to establish a walkability vision. And so tasks associated with that include identifying priority pedestrian streets and zones, creating pedestrian-focused street design concepts, and developing action plans to implement. Deb Bird and her team, the MPO, are brilliant, and this is going to be amazing to watch. And then, of course, we're going to use federal funds to purchase 20 electric bikes and continue to partner with stakeholders on bicycle and safety education efforts. And finally, many thanks to Angela Castergan and her team. Providing our community with transportation services they need remains at the heart of our priorities, but we have to hear from our community. We need to listen to them, and it's something that we take very seriously. So in 2021, we'll continue to engage and inform our community, our constituents, your constituents, elected officials, key stakeholders on our various communication online channels. It's been difficult in the pandemic, but the team has found a way to connect. And we're also going to continue to engage with our Transportation Resource Advisory Committee, or TRAC. Chairman Don Snyder has done such an amazing job running a very large, I think there's 38 members, and we've received great feedback from them. So again, looking forward to sharing that with you as we, when we meet again. I'm not sure when that starts, but we'll make sure and let you know, Madam Chair. And then we just brought this to you last month. We are also looking to implement the RISE program, that stands for Resources, Involvement, and Supported Education. And it's a program that is designed to help connect Nevada's local, small, and diverse businesses to all RTC-funded transportation contracting opportunities. And so as a reminder, we will work with member agencies to award 8% of construction and 2% of professional services to contracts, again, to local small business and or local diverse business firms on all RTC-funded projects. And really all of these efforts will allow us to communicate early and often regarding our various transportation priorities and initiatives that we can bring forward to you and the community. So as our final recap, I've provided you an overview of our roadmap and our key initiatives. And again, there are more initiatives that are included in your document that we sent you. As we kick off 2021, I remain committed to working on your behalf and your constituents' behalf. And on behalf of Team RTC, putting our community first is a big deal, and providing the most efficient and effective mobility services infrastructure that really help move our community forward. And with that, I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. Let me see if I can stop sharing so I can see you. Okay, and there we go. Madam Chair, you're on mute.
Commissioners, any questions or comments?
Yes, Madam Chair, I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
MJ, I think what you're doing is terrific. I like the innovation piece especially. But at some point, I would appreciate hearing from you and all the other smart folks on the staff about what you think the future of mobility is, and what are the disruptors going to be, and how do we stay ahead of it? That to me is a discussion that's not in there, but I sure would like to have it.
And Councilman Galt, in response, there are disruptors out there, and it's certainly on demand. I mean, you could buy a new house on your phone, you can order a meal on your phone, and many people want to travel when they want to travel on demand. They want point-to-point destination. I think really a blocker is going to be funding. The amount of community investment in here in Southern Nevada is an issue, and until we address that, that will be a blocker to any kind of future mobility enhancements that we want to make. We believe that mobility is going to be like a bag of tools, right? You're always going to have a some kind of high capacity transit. Whether that's 40 or 60 a bus, it's light rail, it's below or at grade. First mile, last mile solutions, whether that's on demand in a smaller bus, that's a car to go. I mean, there are, a lot of it really to remain relevant is listening to what the market is moving. Autonomous vehicles, some people say it's never going to be here. Well, I'll tell you, it's here. And the OEMs, the major manufacturers are investing billions of dollars in that technology. Will it replace public transit? No. Will it be a small part? You know, we're going to have the autonomous vehicle pilot here or actually it's a program in downtown Las Vegas. That's relatively small compared to our entire system. But then you compare what they're doing in Jacksonville with their autonomous vehicle project, and that's pretty significant. So I think public transit agencies have to keep their minds open and be prepared again to listen to what the market is driving, to be and to understand that we have to be equitable in how we provide any kind of innovative mobility options. But we could talk for, I can go down my transit geeky hole with you, but we will, if you like. We'd love to prepare something for you, and we can share that with the rest of the commissioners.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Commissioner Goodman, any questions or comments?
Well, actually, I'm totally in awe as I reflect on the years on this wonderful commission. And I think under your leadership, your open-mindedness, MJ, and how you've reevaluated your team, but going down to anybody who's cleaning a bus and making it pristine, or your drivers, or your people that are in the office. You've just done a remarkable job, not only in a challenging time because of the pandemic, but more so because there's so many options. And with Councilman and Commissioner Galt's comment, I couldn't, concur more with him about the look into the future and the various types of mobility that are coming to the fore. And obviously, who can see into the future, but they are realities. And whether it is the autonomous vehicle or through the bike share, or through any type of rapid transit that we're engaging in, to continue to look at drones and air travel and personal vehicles and how they interface, and what's the role of the RTC, to me, is critical. As we know right now, the LVCVA not only has embarked on working on a campus-only circulation, but is somewhat involved with transportation out in the county, and how all those pieces integrate. And then as we look to the future with the more of the Lyfts and Ubers that are out there, and how you and your team are looking to it. But I think of premier importance has been your open-mindedness and your team's willingness to, and absolutely advocacy for community involvement, and how thorough those meetings have been, and how, from what we hear, that there's such appreciation for it, because it really is oftentimes from the grassroots you get some fabulous ideas that you might be able to pilot. And knowing that you have over, probably you're getting closer to 2,500 employees, and I know some have had to be on furlough, trying to keep everybody employed and figure out a way to keep your spending down. You've just done a remarkable job with your team, and I know any leader is only as good as the support team and the public confidence and involvement. So I just take my hat off to you, but I really do think Councilman and Commissioner Galt's comment is, because it concerns me a great deal, is what does the future look like, not only because of the pandemic, which we all know is hopefully we may move forward with prevention there, as well as we don't know about the treatment, but what are the plans given that set aside? What do you see in the future with the innovation? And knowing we have had the joy of working with the autonomous vehicles, how much they're looking forward into the plan. So I just commend you. I'm so grateful. And we hear all the time about how courteous your drivers are, how clean the vehicles are, and under very challenging circumstances now and then, how they handle crisis. So my hat's off, and I'm so honored to be able to sit on the commission these years, but so grateful because leadership and teamwork is where it's at. So thank you, and sorry I took so long.
Thank you, Commissioner, so much.
Thank
And
you,
I
commissioners.
second Mayor Goodman's comments.
Thank you. And again, MJ, we're so grateful for the leadership that you've brought, especially during these challenging times. You know, working through a pandemic where you're balancing a lot of balls certainly is much more challenging than at any other time. One of the things I wondered, because we're going into a new administration in Washington, we're going to see a lot of changing circumstances, changing leadership in transportation, perhaps changing visions. And I know that you're going to be working closely with our folks, our delegation in Washington, to solve some of the challenges and look at where we can bring resources. A couple of years ago, when we made the decision about Maryland Parkway, it was really influenced by the fact that the previous administration didn't prioritize transit as a solution. And now we could maybe look at things different, knowing that Mayor Pete is back there and Biden has a different look at transit and transportation. I know you're moving fairly quickly down the road with regards to Maryland Parkway and programming bus rapid transit. But if there were resources to go into transit, are we poised to be able to shift gears, or are we pretty far down the road?
So our deputy CEO, David Swallow, is doing a tremendous job. This is, among the many things that he does at the agency, that is his project. And in speaking with him, and it was a brief conversation, but again, we're getting to that 30% design phase. I think at that point, that's when we have to either take a right or a left. And once we do, that will, the decision's made and we can't undo. That'll be very difficult, but there is potentially an opportunity this spring. But I think, Madam Chair, that you're correct. We, as a matter of fact, Senator Cortez Masto's staff reached out to us this morning. We're working, they're very curious to know what we would, in terms of talking about a future infrastructure package, what sort of shovel-ready products we have ready. And we're working closely with all of them. And we agree. We actually know I was on a board with the new deputy administrator of the FTA, and it's wonderful. This administration is bringing on to the USDOT a team that is seasoned and experienced and understands transit and transportation. So we are very excited to continue those relationships, and excited to whether it is a climate action, it has to do with clean energy, charging infrastructure, the ability to look at a high capacity transit that would include something other than a bus. We are very excited about those conversations.
Well, that's very exciting. And again, thank you for your leadership, and to the team that you've assembled. I think they're doing remarkable things, especially during these challenging times, and still being innovative and looking at sustainability and planning for the future. And so we're very grateful to you. And my question for you is, are you asking for any compensation going forward?
Absolutely not. I'll be quite frank. I would be the wrong person to lead this agency if I were asking for any kind of compensation. It just is not. It's not the time. It's not the right thing to do. I'm in this. Not because of the compensation, and I certainly would never think of doing anything that could impact my team, because I think we're all going to continue to either. We all took a pay cut last year. We are absolutely not, Mayor. Madam Chair, but I certainly appreciate you asking that question, but no, I would not even consider it.
Commissioners, do you want to make a motion to move this forward to the board then, for understanding that there won't be a request for compensation increase?
So moved.
We have a motion on the floor. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. And that motion carries. MJ, again, we're so grateful to you for your leadership and certainly appreciate all that you've done for our communities and certainly balanced a lot of balls in the air while you're doing that. So thank you. This is the time set aside for our final citizen participation. Maynard? Is there anyone wishing to comment?
Thank you, Chair March. There are no public comments received at this time.
Okay, we have no comments, so I guess this meeting is adjourned, and I'll look forward to seeing you all at our next board meeting.
Madam Chair, I just wanted to say again, thank you. It's a privilege, it's an honor to work for you and with you and the rest of the commissioners. I'm just very proud to serve on your behalf.
We're proud of you. Thank you.
And I feel the same way.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner, Councilman.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Any other questions or comments?
Thank you, Mayor Goodman.
Thank you. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.